But what a lot of the spots that I fish on have been prepped. Yeah. I've tried to put bait on them. I'll put hemp on them. I'll put chopped boilies on them. So a lot of the time, at this time of the year, I'm fishing on already spots that have been cleaned off by the carp. So I want everything to be on the deck. I go away and the barrel with a 12 miller on the top's ideal because you get a bit of both well. The pop-up sitting right in front of his face, but they've got the nice big barrel that's all soaked up with water holding to the bottom.
100%, and it's hard for them to deal with in the mouth.
It is.
But again, with your way of baiting upright, you don't get a lot of fishing, so you're fishing, but mostly is like prepping waters.
That is all I get.
Getting the swims
that
prepped.
Is it. Yeah.
But it's a bit of you. I mean, you've told me you've been going at like 12 o'clock at night and doing it so you don't get people seeing what you're doing. You have got to protect what you're doing as well, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. All the lakes that I try, I don't get the time. A lot of anglers do because of my family and stuff. So what I try and do is I spend just as much time trying to create something that's going to take me less time to do. If I sat at the lake trying just each time I turned up blind, I think I'd probably blank all season. But if I get down there and put a bit of bait on a spot, it gives me confidence, and the carp visit it. They do visit it.
It's something else I do to put them off what you're actually doing. A handful of maize or tigers in the edge, and they all think you're doing something with particles. You know what I mean?
I first met Jim at Raysbury, must have been about 15 years ago.
Cool,
and I fished Raysbury a fair bit myself, and I only mainly ever done one night sessions at Raysbury, or even morning sessions. I'd drive over the other side of London and do morning sessions, but it was all about creating a situation. It was about creating an area that, you know, and Jim done it brilliantly when I was there.
Baiting up,
that's it, in creating, so the Raysbury fish, they knew what they knew, they kept visiting.
What we've got to say as well, at the start, at Raysbury, there was only 15 carp.
Yeah, 15 carp.
In 125 acres. So, you know, when you're chasing that few fish...
Yeah, it's an amazing lake.
Location is paramount, isn't it?
So, the prepping of areas on places like that, which you could do, because you'd never had the angling pressure. I'm sure at most lakes, to go and prep a swim, you couldn't do it because the next day there'd be someone else sitting fishing over your bait.
And they're watching you, aren't they? So you've got to be a bit sly about it, haven't you?
So what you're doing, you're going to lakes that are quiet, really quiet, where you know you've got an advantage, and that advantage is, even though they're rock hard lakes, you can use what you know, your methods will draw the fish, and that's how you fish.
I just don't like fishing around a lot of people these days. I just want to fish with the fish, not with the people, you know.
I think you get spoilt if you fish lakes similar to me that have been empty, and you get a lot of bank and you get a lot of water to yourself, and you very rarely see other anglers. I think after that it's hard to go onto busy lakes.
Yeah, coming back to Bayswater, I've been back I worked it out the other day. 3 weeks before I went to the Maldives, and I've been back 2 weeks, and I've had 12 fish, 9 over 30.
That's unbelievable.
With a 42 pounder, you know, and I'm doing 2 days there, and then I've got permission to fish a 40-acre pit somewhere else, about 80 mile away, and I've had 5 out of there.
Yep, unbelievable.
And they don't even know. And I mean, I'm doing something a little bit different there. You're fishing hemp, but because these carp haven't been fished for years, I'm fishing over beds of salty maize. Putting a bit of nutcracker there, fishing a white one over the top, even meshing a little bit of the popcorn maize, actually, round the boilie and under the mesh. So I've got a bit of visual colour as well. But, you know. One
thing that I wanted to mention was garlic, and the tuna and garlic is probably, you know, it's the first bait that we brought out at Urban Bait.
And I've never used it.
Jim's never used it. I've used it loads of times. I caught loads of fish on it, but one of the things that we was playing around with was different colours on the pop-ups. Well, what we've done now, I'm not too sure if you can see this, but I'm sure you can. We've made the pop-ups a lighter colour than the actual bait. So once the bait's been in the water a few hours, they will be this colour. So this will take over, and we've already got that with a nutcracker, as you know. We've got the sort of washed out white colour, and that's what you've got a tub there, Jim, haven't you? So they're the ones.
They're the 12s.
We've also got it with a tuna and garlic, and we've done it with a red spicy fish as well. So in the range now, we've got this slightly washed out colour with all three. And again, it comes back down to what we were just talking about, prepping areas, fishing over baited areas. You're fishing for fish that have been eating bait. Yeah, so when they come across these baits that are slightly washed out, we're in the hope that that's going to blend in.
A day or two, couldn't it, before it's been picked up?
It's going to blend in, And you know, all of this is what we're trying to do. You're tricking the fish into believing that it's eating what you've been feeding it.
I mean, there's something else I've been doing. I've been kept on at you for ages about doing the liver,
The liver
It took
cracker.
a long time for you to come to it, right, yeah, but we call it liver cracker, right, yeah, and all I've been doing, as soon as I get the bait out the freezer and it starts to turn watery,
Yep.
I put a couple of big dessert spoonfuls in a 5 kilo bag and I just keep moving it around and I get a nice cover. People say to me,
Yep.
well, your bait's a bit darker. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
So I'm actually adding like
Yep.
a powder, a tractor in the
Yep.
water, so it dissolves straight away. And this stuff, I mean, the people who've been getting on it have been doing really well.
Really catching
but
fish.
I've been doing really well as on the top.
Yep.
Putting them
On
on
the
the
mixers,
mixers,
yeah.
you know, with the nutcracker glug.
I'd like to come back to that because I think that one of the all-time carp baits is a mixer. One of the best carp baits probably of all time. And if you smell a bag of mixers, a fresh bag of mixers, some more than others, they do smell very similar to the liver cracker.
Yeah.
So we're using similar stuff in there than what you get in a bag of mixers.
Yeah.
And we've always talked about how about if you get a mixer to fish it on the bottom.
What you call it? Urban.